An 18-month-old child misdiagnosed by the hospital and lives with cerebral palsy since 2010. The child's parents were approached by a personal injury lawyer, took to litigation, and won a massive 13.1 million rand in malpractice payout last year. But now this family is questioning unexplained legal fees and medical legal expenses. We bring you this heart-wrenching story of Mavimbela family. Let's take a look at what's happened here.
A family of a child disabled due to medical negligence are questioning unexplained medical and legal costs amounting to 4.5 million rands charged by a law firm which represented the parents of Nonjabulo Mavimbela. Brenda Mavimbela and Lucky Mthembu was awarded 13.1 million rand after her daughter was misdiagnosed at the Far East Rand Hospital, which left her young daughter brain damaged.
Umntwana uthi makagula ngo-2010 sahlala esibhedlela, then mahlala esibhedlela umntwana waba brain damage.
My child got sick in 2010. We were in hospital for some time and the child got brain damaged. Lucky and I left our jobs and stayed in the hospital with her. There were people who used to come on Sundays to pray for patients, and one day this white lady came to me and asked if she can pray with us. After that she asked me what happened to our child, and I told her that I brought the child to the hospital last week. I told her that the child was fine. She was walking and talking. The lady said to me that she knows people who can help the child to get the best treatment.
Mavimbela says she signed documents that were not explained to her, which allowed her lawyer, Gary Austin, to take 25% out of the settlement.
He said that when they reward Nonjabulo, he didn't say how much, but he said that we would have to sign an agreement that they will take 25% of the money, and we just signed. We didn't read the documents.
The daughter was admitted to the hospital during 2010 when she was a year and a half. She was misdiagnosed as having bacterial meningitis, when in fact she had TB meningitis. In 2015, a judgment was granted in their favor. The money was to assist Nonjabulo, who needs 24-hour childcare. Now, Brenda says because of the massive charges by the lawyers against the settlement, her relief was short-lived.
He told us that we did not win the lotto. He said that this is Nonjabulo's money and we must focus on our firstborn child. We told him that we left our jobs when Nonjabulo fell sick in 2010. When Nonjabulo fell sick, I used to call Lucky from his work in Edenville. He eventually resigned. We were always at the hospital. Now we must look for jobs.
The family wants answers for the unexplained fees. Why 18 different service providers for medical reports were employed? Why was an actuary identified as Dr. Brooke hired from the United States at a total cost of 65,500 and another Manru actuarial consultant from Cape Town hired at a cost of 73,460? Meanwhile, Austin's service fee was 3,275,000 rand.
When we looked at the court order, there's a radiologist that we don't know of. On his statements, the radiologist is not there.
The detailed account supplied by the lawyers indicates that between June 2013 to September 2015, the family only received 35,400, whilst Austin and medical practitioners awarded themselves 4.5 million rand from the settlement. When ANN7 contacted Austin, he denied the allegations, stating in a letter that Lucky Mthembu, the father of Nonjabulo, was more interested in self-gain. He added that it was evident the child's father, Lucky, was more concerned about using the money for self-enrichment.
When we want things for a child, we can't get them. The child has money, but when she's sick, we struggle. We have to borrow money when the child is sick, while the lawyers have her money. The worst part is that after the money was transferred into his account, we had to take the child to Johannesburg General, and Gary said we must catch a taxi. He said the child can't buy a car as she can't drive.
Despite this, the firm arranged a consultation with independent attorneys who tried to explain to him that he could not use Nonjabulo's funds to support the family general expenses. It went on to say that he refused to accept these principles of law and then terminated their mandate. The matter is also being investigated by the Hawks.
I think it's a very sad situation from what we have heard, and I think it's one of those cases that touches you personally as well. And I think it's something that we will be looking at a very serious, and try by all means to help this destitute family in terms of making sure that they get closure on what they believe is rightfully theirs.
Meanwhile, legal experts have raised a number of discrepancies with the case in question.
I looked at Gary Austin's 2 statements of accounts. They are conflicting. He is charging in excess of 5 million, which is taken from the capital of the amount that was intended to be paid to a little child who was now brain dead.
I think the parents as litigating parties, again, and there needs to be clarity, is the parents represent the child. They are suing in their capacity for the child. So therefore their rights are there as caregivers as well as representatives of the claimant, in inverted commas, being their own child. But the beneficiary is the child. And therefore those funds usually need to be suitably be protected and put into a secure trust.
The Department of Health also expressed their concerns, stating the lawyer that was handling the case was doing so in bad faith.
So we have seen that there were lawyers who were acting in bad faith, and we made it very clear that in all the cases that we've identified that we felt we really need to fight, we are fighting.
Experts say the cost of taking care of Nonjabulo in her condition is expensive, and the parents should be the trustees of the settlement amount that was awarded to them by the South Gauteng High Court against the Gauteng Premier and Health MEC. Although Nonjabulo was a very bubbly child before she was misdiagnosed and had brain damage, she still is very bubbly. We can see it in her facial expression. Although happiness does not last in this house, because the battle continues to try and recover some of the missing money from Nonjabulo's compensation. Judith Diacanyo, ANN7, Johannesburg.